Our next topic is how to add a receipt to an invoice. To add receipt, go to Income tab. Then go to Receipt tab. The receipt page will open. Fill in the detail of receipt as shown here. The required fields are the receipt date, payment mode, customer name, income account, description, amount, tax rate, and currency mode. When you have done, click Save. Now let us see how to raise a credit note. To raise a credit note, go to Income tab and then select Credit Note tab. On clicking Credit Note tab, select the Create Credit Note towards creation of a new credit note. Fill in necessary detail which is needed towards creation of credit note. Details such as customer name, credit note prefix, date, currency, product, description, price, discount, and tax to be filled. When you have done, click Save. Our next topic is how to add payment entry for unpaid bill. To start adding payment entry for unpaid bill, click the Expenses tab and click the Payment option. Enter the required details to add payment entry for unpaid bill. When you have done, click Save button. Let us see how to create a debit note. A debit note indicating an amount owed by a seller will be in the form of letter issued by a seller to advise amount owed by the buyer. Debit note as a document shows the reason for debit entry. Now, to create a debit note, go to Expense tab and click on the Debit Note option. Click Add Debit Note button. Enter the required details to create a new debit note to vendor. When you have done, click the Save button. Debit note added successfully is displayed as shown here. Let us see how to auto-import bank transactions to Reach software. To do so, click Auto Import Bank Transactions button. a tab requesting to enter bank name of which data need to be synchronized is displayed. Now, enter bank name, Indian Overseas Bank, and then click Continue. This function is also known as bank synchronization. This is the first step in process of bank transaction download. Fill in the bank internet customer ID and password received from banker and click Continue. The importing process begins with the display of progressive horizontal progress bar declaring start of importing or downloading bank transactions automatically to book. This one-time process that will last for few minutes may depends upon the banker's server connectivity. This process helps to update future bank entries as and when transaction occurs in bank account, which automatically updates in Transaction tab. This process of importing bank transactions can also be called as bank synchronization. This is used in situation of operating multiple bank accounts and which need to do same process repeatedly for each bank separately. Need to create bank account with different name. This is one of the unique features offered by Reach accounting software which no other software offers in Indian market. Various stages of bank data download are shown here. First stage is after customer ID with password of internet banking. The successful download of bank transaction to book will be displayed as shown here. Downloaded bank data will be stored in Reconciliation tab as shown here. The other way of syncing to bank is go straight to Reconciliation tab, select Sync to Bank or Upload Transactions via Excel sheet bank statement detail. Let us now see how to import bank data from Excel sheet to software. To import bank data in Excel sheet, go to Reconciliation tab and click plus Upload Transactions button. On clicking plus Upload Transactions button, the following page enabling the download data with Excel sheet will open as shown here. Select the Choose file in Upload Transactions. This will reach the Excel sheet stored in the drive. Now, select the Excel sheet to download as shown here. Bank statement with Excel data will be attached and to be tagged with the bank head, that is, file name Reach Bank Book, and to tagging bank name is Indian Overseas Bank, on which the data is to be stored. Now, click Upload. Map field confirming the columns available on Excel sheet to be matched with that in software, that is, mandatory columns for download will appear. The process bar shows of successful download of data into the software. Now, tag the necessary columns available in the Excel sheet with that on software as shown here. Tag fields such as transaction date, description, check number, debit amount, credit amount, and balance amount are to be filled. When you have done, click Save button. On the successful completion of process, the converted bank statement in Excel to software will be stored in Uncategorized tab in Books as shown here.
How to sync a bank. Click Reconciliation menu. Now click Sync to Bank tab. Now, import your bank transaction screen appear. Type the name of your bank. A list of identical bank name will appear. Select the bank name exactly and click Continue to proceed further. In the next screen, type Net Banking username and password in the column provided and click Continue. Now you can view bank transactions. It is a view-only process.
The first topic under Categorize is how to add taxes to a transaction. To do this, go to Action tab on extreme right side under Transaction tab. Click Expandable button. Add service tax or VAT, whichever is applicable. Now, a new tab will open with display of 6 job tab on which select Include Sales, Service Tax tab. Finally, add the necessary tax to be captured pertaining to the transaction and then click Save. A new tab declaring the transaction is inclusive of tax is displayed. This tab is used when receipt is done with tax inclusion. How to deduct TDS in a transaction. Let us now see how to deduct TDS in a transaction. To deduct TDS in a transaction, go to Action tab on extreme right side under Transaction tab and click Expandable button. Now, the function needed to execute is Exclude TDS tab. Add the amount of tax to be calculated and then click Save button. Let us now see how to match bank receipt with an invoice. To match a bank receipt with an invoice, go to Action tab under Transaction tab and click Expandable button. Now, go to the third tab, which is Match to Invoice Expenses. In case a customer receipt is received for more than one invoice, this tab will use the process as shown. Find the entry which is Match against 2 invoices. Now, select the Transaction tab where the receipt is matched with the invoice. Say, receipt of Rs 5,000 to be matched to invoice. and then click
How to reconcile bank transaction. Click Reconciliation button. Reconciliation page appears. Click Import Transactions under Reconciliation menu. Upload Transactions screen will appear. Download bank transactions from net banking process into Excel file. Click Choose File in Statement tab. Select the downloaded Excel file to upload. Select the bank name in the Payment Account tab. Now click Import. You can find all the bank transactions imported under Reconciliation menu. How to match and categorize each bank transaction. Select a small box against a transaction and select Income or Expense head to match on the right-hand side. Immediately the particular transaction is taken automatically to the selected account head. Select a tab under Action column. If a particular transaction is of mixed type, select a particular option and proceed as shown in the pop-up tab. Now also the transactions match to different account heads. If there are multiple bank transactions, select Bank from the drop-down list, left to Search tab. Select Period if required. And click Search.
Let us see how to match a payslip. Payslip raised for a staff need to match with the payment as shown in Transaction tab. Payment entry in Transaction tab before matching with payslip is displayed here. Payslip of the staff Mr. Edwin raised for the month of July 2013 as follows and been matched with the above payment. To match the payment, go to the Transaction tab and go to Action tab. Click the Expandable tab. All buttons which facilitate for further modification will be displayed. Now, click on Match to Payslip button. On clicking the Match to Payslip tab, the screen shown here will open. Now, tag the employee name that we are matching the payslip with payment done. Here, Mr. Edwin, July 2013 salary slip is matched. On clicking Payslip, sub-tab All pending payslip which are not tagged or matched, then tag the appropriate month, say here July 2013, and then click Create to generate salary payment of Mr. Edwin. Let us now see how to split a transaction. Go to Action tab. Under Transaction tab, click Expandable button. Click Split this transaction button. Select entry of which you need to split as payment done or income received from vendor, customer for more than bill. Then enter the second part amount for this transaction and then click Save button. The slip entry will be displayed as follows. This needs to be categorized as follows. To categorize, click the left empty box with tick and tick the expense or ledger head on right for transferring the amount to the concerned ledger. The last topic for the module is how to transfer a cash transaction, cash deposit, a cash withdrawal to cash book. To transfer cash contra, go to Transaction tab and click the Expendable button on right corner. Then click Transfers, Deposit or Withdrawal. Select an account to find where the transfer is going. Here we are selecting Indian Overseas Bank. Then click Save button. Now the amount will transfer or categorized to Indian Overseas Bank cash book. Let us now see how to use journal entry. Journal entry is a business transaction that takes place. The first step is to record the same in the books of original entry or subsidiary books or books of prime or journal. Thus, journal is a simple book of accounts in which all the business transactions are originally recorded in chronological order, that is, day to day, and from which they are posted to the ledger accounts at any convenient time. Journaling refers to the act of recording each transaction in the journal, and the form in which it is recorded is known as journal entry. To add a new journal, go to Journal Transactions tab and click Add a Journal button. Enter description, date, reference number, proof. After filling up this, add the account details, debit and credit, and then click Save button. Now let us see how to use contra. Few transactions in businesses relates to both cash and bank. That is, balance of one will decrease and other will increase such transactions. Say, cash deposited in bank account where transactions are entered on both sides of the cash book. Such entries are known as contra entry. To add a new contra, go to Contra Transactions tab and click Add a Contra button. Enter details of transaction amount, date, bank from, to bank, voucher number and notes. After filling all the details, and then click Save button.